So last time we learned how to coil, adding the mass onto our forms, and today I'm going to show you how to add the skin onto our bones, kind of. We're going to add the tinfoil on. That'll be our first step, and then we're going to show you how to paint the rock that your figure's going to be mounted to and show you how to mount it to a rock. So where you're going to find the tinfoil is going to be right over here. You're each going to get about probably 1.5 feet of tinfoil. And so I already covered my arm. I used about the same amount, or sorry, my leg. I covered the leg, so I'm going to show you how to cover the arm next. So first, I think I'm going to cut this down into a smaller section because I don't want it going all the way up my arm, but I do want to cover my hand and halfway up. So I'm just wrapping it around the arm, and as I'm doing that, I'm squeezing it and squishing it into place so I can feel where my hand and my wrist kind of were. So I want to make like my hand kind of a nice little hand shape right there. You can even bend it more and just kind of squeeze that and squish it into the coils that you made, and that will add mass to your sculpture. And so what we want you guys to do for this one is we want you to put foil over 2 different body parts. They can be 2 of the same body parts. I could have done both legs, I could have done both arms, or I could have done the head and the torso. And we'd also like you to use tinfoil on your objects. I don't know what happened to my little object I was making, but we would like you to include tinfoil into one element of your object. And so once you're completed with the tinfoil step, we're going to have you guys choose a rock. Our rocks are living over on our cart over here. So what we'll have you do is you'll come and pick a rock, maybe bring your figure over with you to see how you might want it to be posed on it and everything. So this was like a random rock I chose. I kind of like this one, but I think because my form is so big, I need a bigger rock. So I'm gonna put this one back. And actually, I'm gonna grab this one. This is one I grabbed earlier, and I already washed it. We're gonna have you guys do that. So when you grab your rock from the cart, bring it over to the sink, wash it off. They are dirty. They did come from outside. They're not from a fancy rock store. And so once you have your rock all washed and dried, you're going to pick out some paint colors. We're gonna put out metallic colors too, so you can play around with those, because we think it'd be kind of fun to, what's the word? Accentuate the earthliness of the minerals and stuff that are in rocks. So we're gonna have metallic paints out. Today I'm gonna grab silver, and I already have some blue and red and yellow in my palette, but I'm gonna focus on blue today. I also have a cup of water, and from your guys' last, the acrylic painting self-portraits, we didn't introduce water into the acrylic paint, but this time we are going to treat the acrylic paint kind of like watercolor. Has anyone done watercolor painting in here before? Oh, Tomas, we got some watercolors. So the thing with watercolor painting is you're just gonna take a little bit of pigment, like just a little bit of blue, a little bit of pigment. I'm gonna put it into one of my other like wells in my palette, and I'm going to dip into my water and just drop a bunch of water into it. And what's gonna happen is it's gonna dilute the paint so it's not opaque. So I can still see through it, and I'll be able to see the different intricacies and shapes of the rock, if that's how we're gonna put it. So I'm taking my watered down paint. I'm gonna walk around really quick to show you guys, like, this is what I mean by like watered down. It's really like soupy, liquidy. And so I'm gonna put it onto my rock. Whichever, there's no rules for this either. You can choose as many colors as you want. The main thing we want you guys to focus on is watering down the paints so that you don't have to use as much paint to cover the rock. And so also you're not covering up the rock and all of its cool little cracks and crevices and such. So I'm gonna show you guys. So that's blue on my rock. And so now maybe I'm happy with my blue and I want to tap into the metallic color. So we're gonna have silver, bronze, gold. There's going to be a few different options for you. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I just put a little bit of pigment into one of the wells. I'm gonna add a bunch of water. You want way more water than paint because you want it to be nice and see-through, basically. You want a see-through paint. And so now that I have a watered down metallic, I'm just gonna add that onto my rock. And you might not be able to see it well when it's wet, but when it dries, it will have like a really cool reflectiveness to it. Okay, so that is gonna be for the rock, and I would love you guys to cover your whole rock in your chosen colors and your chosen metallics. For the next step after painting will be mounting your figure onto the rock. So for that, you want to remember what pose you chose to have your guy in. Mine, I'm choosing to have him kind of like jumping up onto it. So as you can tell, he's kind of falling back right now. So I want to make sure I have him posed in a balanced way. He's kind of jumping up like that. Okay, so this is how I like it. And so I'm going to come over to our wire stash and cut off, I would say maybe 2 lengths. And snip that down. Maybe a little less. I'm just gonna cut more for now so we can see how much we need. And it's okay if you have extra. Just put it into like our little scrap bin if you have extra. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is figure out where my foot's gonna be. If you're attaching it at the waist, it's gonna be the same kind of thing. You're just gonna weave your wire through your foot or hips or arms. It could be doing a handstand if you want to weave it through its feet. This part isn't going to be the easiest thing because of the rocks being heavy, but what you're going to do is wrap the wire around. Oh wait, you see what's happening? I'm gonna wrap it around, twist it down at the bottom, maybe to anchor, like an anchor point. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just about making sure your figure is secure. So once I have the first section like twisted on here, I think what I'm gonna do is cut it and make another strip to add across the other direction. There's probably a better way to word that, but so I have one wire going this way, I'm gonna do another one going this way. So that at an intersection, and so that it's a strong connection. So I'm gonna cross them like this. And then same thing, I'm gonna lift up my rock, push them under, and twist them like this. Okay. And then I can place my rock back down, and then I'm gonna kind of hide that one and put it down. And so then you can check your figure, see how it's standing. So they stand pretty good. So the thing with the anchor points is we want to have you guys have at least 2 or 3, do you think? Should we do 2 or 3?
Depends on size, probably.
Depends on size. So for mine, I was able to get it to stand with 2 pretty successfully. If I wanted to make it stronger, I could add a 3rd one. And if it was even bigger or heavier, or if I had an object that made it pretty lopsided, I might add a 4th one to the, or yeah, I would add 4. But yes, so do we have any questions about what we're doing with our figures?
You might even want to string one through the leg.
Through the leg?
Yeah. Like stick it down through the, yeah. String it through the coil. So
Okay, can everyone see that? I'm putting it down inside of the leg. Like this.
and then maybe attach it.
As a strengthening thing.
Yeah. And everyone's will require something different.
Right.
Because everybody's, you built it different and it's a different pose. And so we can help you out individually with giving it strength and balance.
Yes. Every body is different. Okay, so I just twisted that kind of up onto my knee in my figure. And so now I bend them back this way.
And maybe you even need
And
one
then
to go through the spine, all the way from the spine to the leg. Remember that line that we drew when we did gesture drawing? It went through the leg that, so the line from the spine down to the leg. Maybe you need a wire that goes all the way from the spine down to the leg and attaches.
These are things you guys are gonna find out as you do it when you start noticing the balance.
And it's exploration, and everybody's gonna have to figure out what you need. We can't always tell you exactly in one demonstration.
Okay.
But that was helpful.
It was
So,
helpful.
so can you
You're right, that's
imagine
strong.
if she did one all the way through the leg up to the spine, how much stronger it would be then? Yeah.
Very strong. Very nice. And so,
See how the figure moves?
yeah,
It's a little bit kinetic, and that's good because we're showing movement, right?
we don't want it to be stationary, but we want it to be strong. That's what we want. Okay.
I love it. Look, we're all gonna have dancing figures.
It's gonna be so fun.
I love it.
He's dancing.
He is. He's breaking a move.